Happy Saturday, everybody. Thank you for joining me for today's weekend update. I will be talking about the full moon in Chitra Nakshatra, which falls in sidereal Virgo and is Vargotama, meaning it's the same sign in the Rashi and the Navamsha in Virgo today, and what we can do to prepare for the coming week. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Michelle Marie. I'm Astrological Tarot, and I really appreciate you all for being here. I pray that the last reading was helpful for you. I went into what caused the 2008 recession and compared it to some of the things that I'm seeing in the sky now. We're moving into another type of energy like that, and I know that if you're paying attention, that you're in tune to that as well. So definitely catch that. And then I'm also announcing that I'm going to do a members only on Tuesday, and it's going to be on the United States Pluto return and what we can expect moving forward as we go through this death and rebirth as a nation of the United States. So I hope that you show up for that. It is a members only. The reason I do those is so that we can keep our conversations private. I can look at your charts and answer some more personal questions, and then all of those things get edited out before I release the video to the public. So it gives us a more private venue for us to work in and connect in. So before I get to today's Vedic astrology forecast, I want to say hi to some lovelies in the audience. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. The lovely Jane the Seeker is here. It is lovely to see you. Good morning. I'm so glad you were able to make it to today's show. I missed you, sweetie. The lovely Rose Blue is here. Buenos dias, Rose Blue. Jacqueline is here. It is lovely to see you, Jacqueline. Thank you for popping in first. It's lovely to see you, dear. Samantha is here. It's lovely to see you. I hope you and Mom and Dad are doing well. I know you've got a lot on your plate right now as well. Okay, and Jacqueline says no migraine today, but I'm limping again. Oh my goodness. Got off the arthritis medications and it's making me super ill to my stomach. I'm so sorry to hear that. The limping returns. Oh, one thing that helps me with my stomach is papaya. I've actually discovered that in Mexico here, and having about a spoonful of seeds helps as well. Again, that might be something to look into, but that's just something I learned here. Ramon is here. It's lovely to see you. Welcome, Moonscara. And oh, Hershey, lovely to see you, Hershey. Grand Rising, Michelle and Jonathan, everyone in the chat, sending blessings and positive vibes. Oh, wonderful. And Jonathan says hi too. He had to go downstairs and get coffee, so that's why he's still pulling up his tab. So hey, say hi, Jonathan. As you can see, we're both wearing our blue for Lord Shani today. So that is today's planet. Every planet owns a day of the week, and Saturn Day is Saturday. So he also co-rules it with Rahu, the North Node, who causes eclipses. So every other week we celebrate Rahu as well. Okay. And you picked navy. I love that, Jacqueline. Yay, that's a great color for Lord Shani. He likes that color. Okay. So let's get into today's Vedic astrology forecast, and feel free to ask questions and everything else because I will get those at the end as well. Okay, so we have a beautiful pink moon today. It is a full moon in Chitra Nakshatra, and like I said, it's in sidereal Virgo, and it's also in Virgo in the Navamsha. Why is that important? Well, the Navamsha is our dharmic chart, and it shows us that the moon is really doubling down on the message today and what we need to learn. So the emphasis is going to be given the what's going on in the sky on the eclipse that we just went through, because it did form a stellium, and what we can expect in the Navamsha chart as well under this full moon. So I'm going to give you guys a lot of clues as to what this new moon in this full moon, excuse me, in Chitra Nakshatra conjunct Ketu, the south node in Uttara Falguni, opposing that stellium in Pisces, that big eclipse that we just went through on the 29th, which included Rahu, Saturn, Mercury retrograde at the time, Venus retrograde, which is about to go direct, Neptune. Oh, and Gulika is also involved in Pisces today as well. So that is going to create a sharp polarity between Pisces, which can cause delusions, and Virgo, which is encouraging us to step into clarity, out of that confusion. They're asking us to go further from the mystical right now, because the mystical is getting eclipsed with Rahu, and into a very practical approach to our lives, because that's what Chitra is asking us to do. So Chitra, that's the name of nakshatra today. It's a cluster of stars in the sky. It's ruled by the planet Mars. Mars is our inner warrior. He's all about action. And it's presided by Twastar. Twastar is the celestial architect. Okay. He's also known as Vishwakarma. Okay. So he's calling us to really build with intention right now, and to begin to shape our destinies from the inside out. But to do so, we have to come from a very realistic, grounded Virgo, dotting those I's, crossing those T's, mercurial ruled place. So unfortunately, this moon is very close to Ketu. Now, they're in the same sign, but they're in separate nakshatras, thank goddess. But our emotions may feel a little cut off from logic, and it can lead to some mental fog right now. And I kind of call this analysis paralysis when I see this in the sky. So at the worst, it can create a lot of spiritual escapism, and where you're not really grounded in reality. So you have to ask yourself, are you designing your future built on truth and based in reality? Or are you building an illusion around yourself in order to deal with the societal traumas that are here and are set to come with this Pluto return in the United States, which I said I'm going to do a deep dive on for members only on Tuesday. So what did this Pisces stellium eclipse cause? It caused a whirlpool of spiritual illusion, but this moon in Virgo, this moon in Chitra nakshatra, is asking us to step into reality, to step into insight. So in the D1, I'll show you guys what that looks like. Okay, that is the chart on the left there. Okay, that's today's chart. You can see RA, that's Rahu. SA, that's Saturn. VE, that is the Venus retrograde. ME is Mercury. NE, that's Neptune. GL is Gulika. And the Sun, that's in Pisces. So they're all clumped into Pisces there. Then you go down into the other place I have circled. That is Ketu moon with the ascendant today. And so we've got Rahu, Saturn, Neptune, Mercury, Venus retrograde, and Gulika all in Purva Bhadrapada, a nakshatra known for occult wisdom, radical shifts, and the dissolution of falsehoods. While this can be a window into higher consciousness, it can also trap you if you're clinging to denial or bypassing reality through love and light narratives. Toxic positivity, not seeing the reality. That's what Rahu can do. That's what the eclipse does. Then we've got the Sun and Gulika and Ravati. That adds to the illusion of safety. Ravati got eclipsed during Project 2025, guys. That was that April 8th, 2024 eclipse where I said, uh-oh, and I tried warning you guys, okay? Ravati is very benevolent, but it can obscure hard truth. This is not the time for blind optimism. You are being asked to see very clearly, even if what you see shakes you up a bit. Then the Navamsha chart, that's the chart on the right. That's your soul's response. So we have the Moon, Mars, Mercury, Neptune, and Jupiter. They're all in Leo. That reveals a collective soul level reckoning with ego, power, and self-expression. This is the battle between authentic leadership and narcissistic illusion. It's starting to rise. Then we have Sun, Pluto, and Gulika. They're in Pisces in the D9. That's the Navamsha. That emphasizes that your soul must now learn to lead through sacrifice and not manipulation. And then we have Venus, Rahu, Saturn, and Mandi. Those are all clustered in Cancer. And what that does is it creates some deep karmic vulnerabilities around safety, home, and your emotional stability. Okay, so don't avoid responsibility when it comes to your inner and your outer world, or you will find yourself rudely awakened. Okay, because that's what these eclipses do. Then we have Pluto, that's that PL. That is an Abhijit in the D1, the chart on the right. Pluto in Capricorn and Abhijit Nakshatra, that is the US having just completed its Pluto return. That exact return happened on February 22nd, 2024. It went back and forth between 2020 and 2024 due to the retrogrades. And that brought an illusion of democratic stability, but it is unraveling. Pluto is Yama, the god of death. He does not negotiate. He strips away what is rotten at the root. So let's be clear. The last Pluto return in 1776 birthed a nation. The one before that was in 1528, and that aligned with massive shifts in global power. That's some big stuff, guys. Okay. That was global power, colonization. That's when the Europeans started displacing the natives. So this current return signals the death of one era and the painful labor of another. So if you are in the United States, you are watching this autocracy rise real time. They're not even hiding it. Okay, you saw the pump and dump they just did with the stock market. That was completely illegal. That was insider trading, literally done right in front of us. Now, I talked about the April transits and the Venus retrograde, bringing out a lot of scandal when it comes to our money markets and things like that. So I hope that you paid attention to that and you protected yourselves. We can see more of that because they're doing it openly and they're seeing that they can get away with it. So we need to pay attention to that. Look at it for what it is and go, okay, they're just going to start breaking the laws left and right. All right. So the signs are there if you're willing to see them, but you need to open your eyes, try to see through that illusion, that stellium I just showed you in the sky. Again, it's influencing everybody. That's why I'm here to point it out and go, hey, look. So this is the time to wake up. This is the age of manifesting your way out. Reality is what is going to help you step into spiritual realism, is what they're showing me. So this might not be something that you want to hear, spiritual realism, but it's one that you're going to need to live by in order to get through this very powerful Pisces stellium that's taking place in that beautiful sign of light workers. Okay, that's why a lot of people are feeling a little fogged, a little optimistic. So this is what the full moon is warning us of. And here's my slide for him. That's our beautiful Vishwakarma, the celestial architect. And you can see I have some files there. This is all about getting our life organized, getting our stuff in order, okay, preparing. So we can no longer afford to warn the signs. They are in our face, okay? Those who delay on those hard decisions, getting passports, allocating money, selling things that need to be sold, organizing things that need to be organized, those that delay these hard decisions are going to be paying a lot of karmic interest. Okay, so those who prepare emotionally, financially, spiritually, you're going to be able to endure this storm. That's why, and I'll show you guys again, I have the filing cabinet here. This is a very organized nakshatra. Okay, so you will be able to endure this storm and become architects of the next world, but you need to be organized as you do this. So today is all about cutting through the fantasy. You can use this beautiful Virgo moon in Chitra for sharpness, for clearing the mind, but only if you stop numbing yourself to the distractions that are in and around you. Ketu, who's the south node, is with this moon and he does not tolerate fantasy. So his presence will cut off what no longer serves. He's all about detachment. Okay, so here's the takeaway. Question any illusions that are in and around you right now. Reclaim that beautiful discipline. Ground your faith in action, especially realistic action. I'm not asking you to step away from your faith. I'm asking you to step into it in a very real and empowered way and prepare for long-term transformation because we're all about to go through this. That's just what's up in the sky right now. Okay. So know that you're not being punished, you're just being prepared. All right. So the card that I got, the tarot card that I got for this beautiful full moon and what it's asking us to do post stellium eclipse that we had on the 29th is I got the Seven of Swords from the Hermetic Tarot. And I love that it represents moon in Aquarius because that's my moon. We're realists. We are the gatekeepers, according to my mentor, Monty Farber. He is a Western astrologer, and I have moon in Aquarius in both the Vedic and the Western. And when he did my chart reading, he told me you're kind of like a gatekeeper for the Pisceans. You tend to see things before they come. Now, I just went through my Sati. Saturn just went through Aquarius. And so I'm seeing things pretty realistically right now. You're about to get hit. So I'm here to warn you. Okay. So I got the Seven of Swords reversed from the Hermetic Tarot. This is the Lord of unstable effort, but he came up reversed. So what does this tell me? What are you trying to get away with? That is the question that the Seven of Swords reversed is asking you today. He's asking you to cut to the heart of this very deep and karmic moment that we all find ourselves in. So, in the upright position, this is the energy of deception, strategy, escape, lone wolf tactics. But reversed, it turns the mirror around. It's asking you to look back on yourself. Are you lying to yourself? Have your plans become so scattered or poorly conceived that nothing is really sticking right now? Are you attempting to evade the consequences that are now unavoidable? That's what this card represents. So today's moon, which is in Virgo, conjunct Ketu, happens in Chitra Nakshatra. This is the architect nakshatra. So it's asking you to build wisely and truthfully toward your future. But this is what it's against. A stellium of planets in Pisces with Rahu, the North Node, who causes illusions, and Neptune to double down on top of that. And with Gulika, the son of Saturn, and Saturn is part of that too because he entered the eclipse during the eclipse. So this is an extremely powerful moment, okay? Now, Purva Bhadrapada is the stellium that is opposite the moon in Chitra, and it can tempt you to do some spiritual bypassing, step into that beautiful, ignorant bliss, bathe in the delusion. This is kind of lazy hope that's disguised as trust in the universe. Like, everything will be fine. God and Goddess are here to save us. It'll be wonderful. We're all God anyway. Okay, this card, it's a cosmic red flag that we all need to be paying attention to. Your efforts may be unstable because this is the Lord of unstable effort because your intentions might be misaligned right now. And if you're feeling this, you're not alone. It's what's going on in the sky. It's what's hitting the collective. So do not apply spiritual tools as band-aids over karmic bullet wounds, okay? We're going to require some surgery right now because this is a big cosmic eclipse that affected light workers on a big level, and we need to see it for what it is and not allow it to dilute us into toxic positivity. So, effort without alignment is futile. That's your warning today from the guides. The Seven of Swords reversed is saying, hey, there's a collapse of strategy going on. The rule book was just thrown into the fire pit by the leaders. So the strategy of pretending things aren't as serious as they are is not going to work anymore. You're going to run on fumes in a system that is spiritually bankrupt. You guys know that the United States is not really on its best foot morally right now. If you're not seeing that, again, look in the mirror, turn it around, and really look at the reality of what's going on. So we have been structurally compromised. This pump and dump they just did with the stock market would get people thrown in prison years ago. It's not happening. They're just looting it. Just like in 2008, these guys, some people did face some consequences. Guess who let them out? Okay? So the sky is reflecting that truth right now. And I just did a video on the 2008 collapse and comparing it to the current energies that I'm seeing now in 2025 and moving forward. Again, I'm going to go into the Pluto return on Tuesday. So you guys are going to get more of this. So your heart knows what's not working. I know it does because I can tap in. Okay. Your intuition is screaming. But if you keep brushing that beautiful voice aside, hoping something will just shift in your favor, it will stall your growth moving forward. Because this full moon is asking you not to risk your future by not seeing the reality that's happening right in front of you. So what is this alignment helping you do? Reclaim your integrity. The Seven of Swords reversed, it demands radical honesty. What mask needs to come off? What behavior is draining your spiritual credit? Stop escaping and start engaging with each other. Start developing plans based in reality. The Chitra moon conjunct Ketu is cutting through the illusions. If your efforts have been half-hearted, it's time to recommit or release. Break free from the delusional group think that's going on right now. This Pisces energy may draw you into a collective confusion. Everything's going to be fine. He'll go to prison. It'll be great. No, no, no. There's still things in place that can save us. Detach from these mass narratives. Rahu's about to go into the third house of the United States. That's journalism. That's going to be compromised. I'm just letting you guys know now. That's what the future eclipses are going to bring. So it's time to recommit and release those patterns as well. We cannot rely on people telling the truth because they're running scared and or they're bought. Okay? Accept the end of the old game. You cannot rely on what used to work and what used to be in place legally to navigate your way out of this. The U.S. Pluto return is not just about politics. It's about power, death, and rebirth. In 1776, the founding fathers signed the Declaration of Independence and said, no more. We're on our own. We're our own nation. We make our own rules. Your rules don't work anymore. In 1528, when the European settlers came through, they said, yeah, we know you have this spiritual connection to the land. We know that you're being really great with trade and helping us out, but we have muskets and you have arrows. Whether you see yourself as the native in a past birth or you see yourself as a founding father who's seeing the Constitution under attack, know that those ways of being and living are gone. That's what Pluto returns do. So if you're still playing that old game and you're stepping into comfort and denial of old processes, you will be left behind. Okay? So what's the overall message? Like I said, I got that Seven of Swords reversed. It's not going to let you fake it anymore. And the cosmos will not let you fake it either, because that's what the stellium is asking you to step into. We are entering a dangerous and transformative portal, not just as individuals, but as a collective whole. The time for illusions is over. Those who fail to see the writing on the wall, because this does mirror what Daniel warned Nebuchadnezzar about in the book of Daniel, you will be swept away by the forces that you don't understand. Now, Nebuchadnezzar, I have another video on this. He was a narcissistic king that invited all the enemies in and said, look at me, I'm so great. I invented all this. I'm king and I'm wonderful. And all the people said, no, you didn't. We built this. And why are you inviting all of our enemies in to show us all our work? And he's going, because I'm wonderful and I'm beautiful and it's all me. And then the Persians took over Babylon, overthrew everybody. It was a mess. Same kind of energy, same kind of ruler. That's why history continues to warn us about narcissistic kings, kings that are delusional, okay? So if you're facing this truth, if you're seeing the literal writing on the wall, this is the fall of the United States of America as you know it, the fall of law and order, the fall of our systems that keep everything in place, the ending of the Constitution as we know it. If you face this truth with humility, with preparation, with spiritual courage, you will not only survive, you will help rebuild the future. And you will be part of that. Okay? So here are some next steps that you can take. I'm going to be preparing for Tuesday's Pluto return deep dive, and I'm really looking forward to getting into that with you all. I'm asking you to anchor yourself in your professional dharma, your personal dharma. What is dharma? Dharma is getting on the path, seeing it for what it is, and facing those ugly truths, whether you like them or not. Okay? Not this collective delusion that I keep seeing going on. Clean up your strategy. That's what this new moon in Virgo is. Virgos are meticulous. Mercury's finally out of retrograde. Let's take advantage of this moment to start planning. Okay? Realign those beautiful efforts to get you in alignment with what is best for you moving forward, seeing the truth, warts and all, and walk your talk. Okay? That's what Jonathan and I did. We're in Mexico. I'm an astrologer who actually believes in what I see in the sky because I've been studying this since I was 9. I have seen way too many patterns and way too many shifts to know what's coming. And we moved. I walk my talk. I'm not just saying everything's going to be fine and just, pray and maybe make something pretty. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is what I'm doing. I'm living in reality and I'm trying to get your attention as well. Because unstable effort is no longer an option. And that's what we're being warned against. This is Moon in Aquarius. This is my moon. Okay, and if you have an Aquarius placement, I'm sure you can probably relate to this as well. Okay, so I ask that you please join me on Tuesday for a members-only deep dive into the United States Pluto return. We're going to unpack the 1530s, 28 to into the 30s, 1776 and 2024. These are alignments and what they are going to tell us about the fate of democracy, power, and karma in this country. And again, I'm going into this as a members only so that we can share things in the chat that I'm going to later take out because I see what's coming there. Also, we need to prepare for the Venus direct in Pisces, and that's coming up soon, and that's going to be on October 2nd, 2026. And we can already see that the Venus retrograde is revealing clues as to our housing markets, our stock markets, what we can expect from the leadership. They're not following the rules, guys. They just threw away the rule book. We just saw that happen live in the news. So they're not even hiding it. They're not even trying to mask it the way that they did in 2008. So they're doing it openly. And we need to be very aware of that. Okay. So before I'm going to go ahead and get to your comments. But before we go into that, I want to give you guys a really great mantra that you can do today to kind of help step into this more realistic narrative, because Shani is about to strip the illusion out of Pisces over the next 2.5 years. And it's important that we invite this energy in because it is for our highest good. And having just gone through a really intense sadhisati where he went direct on my moon, boy, am I seeing reality right now. And I hope that I can give you a good dose of that so you can do what's best for you. So here is a great mantra for Shani, and I'll go ahead and put it on the screen. Om Nilanjana Samabhasam Ravi Putram Yamagrajam Jayamaratanda Sambhutam Tam Namami Shanisharam. And a good seed mantra for Lord Shani today. Om Pram Prim Pram Sa Shanishwaraya Namaha. Om Pram Prim Pram Sa Shanishwaraya Namaha. Om Pram Prim Pram Sa Shanishwaraya Namaha. And as you do that, you can do that via a mala, which is 108 beads. And that is a great way to invite Lord Shani in. That's Saturn, the god of karma and reality. And he tells us take off those rose-colored glasses. And as you can see at the top of that slide, there is a Shrapit yoga going on. What's that? I did a whole video on it for my members. I will be releasing it again on Monday so that you guys can see what that means for you by sign. We are in the height of it right now. That is the fight between illusion and reality, which is why I gave you this reading today. And the full moon is helping us with this as well as Shani's influence. So I hope you guys found that helpful. And I really encourage you to look into my members only. Again, I am going to be doing that on Tuesday. It's only $4.99 a month, guys. You send me your chart, and that's basically your date, time, and place of birth. And I give individual readings throughout those as well. And they're edited out of the public version. And you get to see what's coming before everybody else does. Okay. You can also schedule a reading with me via astrologicaltarot.com. If you want to get more individual placements and things going on in your chart, I've got some interesting specials going on right now. And I also encourage you to please like, share, and subscribe. Push that bell notification, as I'm going to be coming up with a lot more dates and times and things going on in the sky. Additionally, I'm going to be on a schedule now because I've figured out my way around the construction going on here. If you've noticed, I haven't been in a lot of the chats. That's why, because we literally have jackhammers going on around us, and I wouldn't be able to hear you if I tried. So I'm looking forward to the end of that in the next week or so. But my shows are going to be every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning. On Tuesdays, I'm going to be members only. On Thursdays, I'm going to be doing collective readings like this. And then on Saturdays, I'm going to be doing some weekend updates and major things I see in the sky as just reminders and remedial measures that you can take to prepare yourself for the coming energies. Okay. I hope that was helpful, guys. All right. So I wanted to get to some of your lovely comments. Ooh, you've been chatty. Okay. So let's see here. All right. Oh, wow. Lots of. Okay. Everyone's saying hi to Hershey. Oh, Jane says, I have a cat in my lap. I'm watching. Oh, give squishes to your beautiful kitty cat. I love that. Everyone's saying hi. And Jacqueline says, saddle up. Yep. And Jonathan tapped in. There he is. Okay. And then Rose Blue says, I texted my brother a little bit ago. I asked him to call me later today so I can tell him my situation. That's good. It's good that you are sharing that information with each other. And yes, we're going through a pink full moon. And is that why I feel so icky? It might be, Jane. A lot of us are feeling this eclipse energy. It has not been easy. But we can step into power because we know what it's hiding. We know what it's causing. So... And then when you do things based in love, it tends to go smoothly. That is correct. Yeah. And it also goes back to stepping into a career, a job, or something that you love and that you're passionate about too. As you guys can tell, I'm really passionate about astrology. And that's why I tend to take these things a little more seriously than the average bear. And Nicole is here. It is lovely to see you, Nicole. I hope you and the kiddos are doing well. We're sending you lots of love. And then Jacqueline says, the rain last night effed my junk up. My knee hated it. Oh, yeah, Jonathan's been having some knee stuff too. My heart goes out to you there. That's also Shani's energy. So it'd be interesting to look at where he's at in your chart. And that mantra can help you with that because he rules the knees. And yes, I had some weird dreams too. They were very prophetic. I'm not going to share them on today's show, but I will show them on the Pluto return. It shows my future birth. It's very interesting on what's coming, especially for the divine feminine. So, it's going to be an interesting chat that we all have on Tuesday. And you're not feeling well, Jane. That might be what's going on in the sky affecting you as well. And then Hershey says, I have the biggest red cardinal in front of me. It's a sign of my grandfather. So the guides and the ancestors look like they're paying you a visit, Hershey. That is beautiful. I love that. And Rose Blues, I know my reality. I wish I could escape it for a day. Well, I think that today's message is all about stepping into it, warts and all. And I'm sending you lots of strength as you do that, Rose Blue, because I think it takes a lot of courage to do what you're doing. Okay, sweetie. So my heart goes out to you as you do that, and know that I'm right there with you. And then Jonathan says, Hershey in the South, the Cardinals considered to be a blessing and good fortune, plus they're crazy beautiful. Yes, they are. Oh, oh, and your GI tract hates you, Jane. Papaya. I'm telling you, it changed my life. If you can get it for it's not $1 million in the grocery store that you're in, a little bit of papaya with some seeds. I take about a spoonful of them, really helps. Saturn is also a good day to fast. So if you feel like you need to give your digestive system a break, just sticking with very simple foods like fruits, um, milk, if you can stomach it, and staying away from grains today can help as well. Because Saturday is a good day to fast. And we tend not to do grains on Saturdays or ekadashis, which is the 11th tithi of the moon. It's just a practice that we do. And then Hershey says, they are also a bird I grew up with in St. Louis, Missouri. So this fat boy is definitely my grandfather. Very good sign that I'm going to have a lucky day. That's beautiful. And I love that they're getting your attention. She says, thank you for sharing, Jonathan. I didn't know that they represented good luck in the South. I know them to be a bird that represents a loved one from the other side. I love learning new stuff. That's great. I love cardinals. They mate for life. So this is a male and female that seem to follow me everywhere. I absolutely know it's my grandmother and grandfather, and I carry it wherever I go. Well, that's their way of letting you know that, hey, we're here and we can help guide you. That's beautiful. And all right, I'm glad Bro's in contact. That's wonderful, Rose Blue. And then Jacqueline says, there's a fascinating principle that our societal cycles are approximately 80 years long. 80 years prior was World War II. They're coming to the happy era, but we're in the strife period. Okay. Well, that represents Uranus. Uranus is about every 84 or so years, including the retrogrades, because they go back and forth. And what Uranus does, it creates lightning moments in our lives. It shakes us out of the status quo. If we've been kind of sitting in a daze or too comfortable, lightning planet comes along. Our Uranus oppositions happen in our early 40s, and our early to mid 80s is when the Uranus return occurs. So that's something that you can look into as well. And then Jane says, in Western, I'm Pisces and Vedic on the cusp of Aquarius. Okay, so you are right there. So you are who? Is that your sun, Jane? I'll have to look at your chart again. If that's the case, that's some major stuff happening because Saturn was going over the Pisces Aquarian cusp during the eclipse. And that's where the North Node was as well. That is a huge karmic shift for you, dear. So definitely look into that. And you'll want to look at the video I did on Strapik Yoga for members. And I'm going to be releasing it condensed on Monday. It's only going to be about 28 minutes long without all the comments. So you can look for that. That's definitely going to affect you more than the average bear. All right. And then Jonathan says, Hershey, you can always tell they're messengers from spirit the way they shout and get our attention and tilt their heads to make sure we're paying attention before delivering messages. Yes. And then Hershey says, in Western, I'm Gemini, Sun in Taurus, New Moon in Aries ascending in the sky. I'm learning about Vedic. I'm a Taurus Sun. I've always said I'm a Gemini with horns. That makes so much sense, kind of. Okay, sounds good. I do have your chart on file. So if you join us on Tuesday, Hershey, and have some questions, I can look at your chart. And there you go. And then, yes, Jonathan, they will chirp so loud. Like, remember those old chirpers, pagers? I definitely know they get your attention. Yep, they do. Then they start singing. Yep, I love that you guys are all getting signs from spirit. It's waking us up, and the cardinal's red. So what does the color red mean to you? For me, it's the Muladhara chakra. And the Muladhara is our root chakra. It's all about taking action based in reality. And it's ruled by Shani, Saturn. So that's just a great day to really tap into that chakra, especially if you plan to meditate. And while you're meditating, if you have a lot of like intruding thoughts come in, you can do one of the mantras that I gave you via Amala if you'd like. And Rose Blue, I'm a Cancer in Vedic, but still Leo moon. Yeah, that tells me you're toward the end of degrees in Western if you're the same in Vedic. I'm that way with Aquarius moon. So, okay. All right. So, and you guys are just sharing contact stuff. That's great. And you're looking at leaving, Jacqueline. Okay. And then Hershey, born in Houston, but Florida has your heart. Okay. You just, go where you feel we're called. All right. So Jonathan says, the deep dive is important stuff. We're living in confusing and dangerous times. Yes, sweetie. And Jonathan and I are both with you as you guys go through that. And so we're kind of the realists when it comes to this stuff. That's why we're here. It's good to see you, Leah. Welcome, sweetie. All right. And Jacqueline says, like, share, subscribe, and join. Thank you, Jacqueline. I appreciate that. And then Mary says, I've been missing your messages all week. Timing is awful. Go back and listen. Oh, I hope you have a wonderful day today too, Mary. And I hope you catch the replays because I put a lot of effort into these videos to try to keep you guys prepared and aware because we're stepping into some interesting times with this Pluto return energy. So, and you're welcome for the information, Hershey. That's so sweet. And sounds like wonderful change to your channel. Not that it needs it. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Yeah, we're all going through some stuff. And I love that you're doing more Lenormand. I can never say it. Lenormand. I haven't taken any classes on that, but I've seen you read it, and it's really interesting. And I'm so glad you like the breakdown of AOC's chart. I had a lot of fun tapping into her. She's actually right about to step into full Sati and was directly affected by these eclipses. So it'll be interesting to see how she reacts to them, whether she follows the illusion of Rahu or she steps into the reality of Saturn. It'll be interesting to see how that works. She started her life off with Saturn Mahadasha. And what I didn't realize before doing that video was I was like, what's going on with her father in the chart? And Jonathan goes, I don't know, let's look into it. And it turns out she lost her father. He died because the family could not, they almost went bankrupt trying to afford his medication. And he died in our medical system because it just wasn't there for him. So that's why she's so passionate as an adult now, because as a child, she went through the process of watching her father die because the oligarchs were not paying enough into our social services, into our Medicare, into our prescription drugs, etc. So it's really interesting that she had a wake-up call that early in her life with the death of her father. And that's really what gives her the wind beneath her sails when it comes to standing up for the collective, because she could have just, in my opinion, not cared and just gone, oh, well, I guess that, that happened to me and I'm going to feel sorry for myself and blame the world for what happened and be negative about it. No, she stepped into power, she stepped into action, and she stood up for the collective. So I just thought that was a really courageous thing to see happen in the soul. So, and Jacqueline says, our complacency got us now. We cannot expect our leaders to be inherently good on principle. Nope, they're just throwing out the rule book. What happened last week was illegal. I'm just letting everybody know that. They're not really reporting it as illegal on all of these channels because they're afraid of what's could happen to them with their money or their power or their influence in the media. We're going to be seeing a lot more of that moving forward. So just be aware of that and take steps that you can to make sure that you're not being misguided by the stuff that's coming out right now. And I'm glad that you can watch the playback, Jane. Appreciate you, sweetie, especially your comments at the end. Those are wonderful. And then any chance you might be able to do a show on what we can do in the States. Okay. Well, if you come during the Pluto return, we can talk more privately about that. The reason I'm doing members only videos, Jane, is because I don't want to put a target on you guys. I'm in Mexico. They'd have to do a little work to get to me. You're in the States, and I don't want to put your comments and your thoughts and your plans just out there in the public. So that's what the members only on Tuesday is. It's $4.99. I know that you're a member, but for everyone else in the audience who isn't, I get less than 50% of that. I'm not doing this because it's like, ooh, no, I'm doing this so I can keep your stuff private and then release the video later without any personal information attached, because the oligarchs funded this guy's campaign. So if he asks for our information, he's probably going to get it. Okay. All right. And then Jacqueline says, I know where to find me, sadly. I'm loud for the LGBTQIA plus community. Yeah, I'm a loud voice for them too, which is another reason why I'm in Mexico. That, and I'm a tarot specialist and astrologer, which Project 2025 is not going to put up with because it's not Judeo-Christian, which again, their plan is not Judeo-Christian either because they're getting rid of all the social programs, that feed the needy and the poor and take care of the widows because, Jesus said just forget about all those people. They don't have money, right? So there's a lot going on there. So, and then Mary says, yep, In all honesty, the illegal stuff happens every day for years. Yep, but they're doing it in the open. It's being revealed right in front of us, Mary. It has been going on behind the scenes, especially the 2008 collapse that we saw, and I'm comparing it to what's going on now. They're just doing it openly because they know that they can get away with it and that there's no consequences for their actions. So, and the lovely Jeff is here. It's lovely to see you. Good to see you, Jeff. I hope you're doing well. Sending love to you and the puppies. Okay, so that said, I hope that that was helpful. I will be seeing all of you hopefully on Tuesday and I'll show you guys the slide again for the Pluto return. I am going to be going into 1528, 1776, 2024, all of the alignments and what they tell us about the fate of democracy, power, and karma in this country. If you're a member, please send me your chart if you haven't already. That's basically your name, your date, your time, and your place of birth. And I'll get it into my software so that if you have any questions throughout the reading, I can give you a more individualized approach to how you can deal with this energy. Okay, so I hope you don't miss it. I'm going to be putting a lot of effort into that as well. And again, I'm here Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So I'm sending you all tons of love, and I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. Om Shanti, Om Peace, Om Love. Take care, everyone.
Sacred knowledge from the stars. Vedic truth heals ancient scars. Mantras clear the karmic way, bringing light to guide each day.